Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at the best mutant champions in the game, and I have selected 5 champions that I like fighting with, enjoying with, to play the game with. And just remember that this is just my personal preferences for the game, and we are going to go into the fight play here with Realm of Legends against the Winter Soldier. And we have 5 champs, so we're going to do 20% of the fight with each one of these champions to showcase them. So we have Archangel, we have Iceman, and we're going to start off with Iceman in the first 20%. So we're going to do 20, we're going to do 40, 60, and 80%. So when we get on to 80% or thereabouts, close to it as possible, we're going to exit out of this fight and go into the next champion that we'd like to continue to fight with. So we're going to showcase the top 5 champions that I think are the best in the tech class. And we're going to start off with Iceman. And again, who we fight with first is in no particular order. So as far as a ranking, the best of the best, I will do a ranking and say what I think is the best champion in the game afterwards. After we look at the gameplay, then I'll rank these champions in the order that I think is the most valuable to finish most events in the game and to get you through most of the content in a Marvel Contest of Champions. So the first fight is Iceman. Again, he is brutal for one reason. He starts off the fight with that cold snap on you, and you actually start losing health unless you're, of course, cold snap immune, and there's very few champions that are immune to his cold snap. Again, you want to just keep firing off the SP1s, get that cold snap going. This guy is fantastic for tanking SP3s as well. Once he has that ice armor that he has right now, an SP3 could land on him and does very little, maybe 1% or 2% damage, if that. So he's very, very durable. I don't have him as a 5 or 6 star, but this is a 4 star ranked up fully to, I believe it's level 50. And here we go. We are just coming up to that 80% mark right now. As you can see, he has that cold snap going non-stop, and he is just brutal in this fight at dishing out damage. Again, with this showcase of fights, we're not going to be too worried about taking hits. We want to take a couple of hits, and the hits are deliberate. So we're going to exit out of this fight because he got Winter Soldier down to 80%. And we're going to feature the next champion in the mutant class. Again, we are going to deliberately take some hits in this gameplay so that we want to see how durable these champions are, also taking some hits along the way. So the second champion we're going to bring into the game is Archangel. So he is the one of the top mutant champions. I think if they bleed, as you say in this game, you are going to go down. His only downside is fighting champions that are bleed immune, but he still has that neurotoxin, and that helps. So he disables ability accuracy when that neurotoxin goes in, and he slows down the opponent's gameplay like Winter Soldier, and the bleed is just constant, man. When you spam your heavies, you're going to bleed, and you could inflict that stun as well. When the neurotoxin expires, you will see that the champion is sometimes stunned. Comes in handy to finishing off gameplay. His SP3 is brutal. At the end of it, pretty much the champion is going to go into stun, and you're just going to be able to finish them off. So Archangel is a definite champion that you want to get, and as you can see, we just keep chaining those stuns there, and before you know it, this guy is down to 58%, and so he's even below the 60% mark we wanted to go to. So these 5 champions, and when I do these videos, it's just a recommendation that these are the 5 champions. If you have them, these are the ones you want to rank up first and put your investment and time into to taking them up to the next level, because they are the most valuable in the game in this class. So we have Colossus, and Colossus was not that great, but since his buff a couple months ago, he is a fantastic high damage output champion. As you could see, here, you'll see his SP1 do a lot of damage, and look at this block. His heavy attacks do a lot of damage, and his SP2 is 100% unblockable. So you could just fire this thing off, and it does huge amounts of damage with huge crit rating. As you can see there, we had a 4,800 crit rate, or 4,500, and he's bringing this guy down to 40% in absolutely no time at all. It didn't take very long to get him there. So again, Colossus, fantastic champ. So the top 3 champions we put up there already so far did a fantastic job. We're going to go in with Emma Frost as the next champion I would recommend, because she's just a defensive tank, as her description would say and her attributes would say. She has that ice, that armor again on her, and that diamond form is just brutal. She could tank a lot of SP3s, taking only very little to no damage. And in this form, she really gets, she's bleed immune. She has a lot of immunities, and she can take a beating. And again, you could see she's doing enormous amount of damage. We're going to take this Winter Soldier down to 20% around there with her, and you'll see she takes very little or no damage. We're going to take a couple of hits here just to show off how durable she is. But again, she is just brutal. She has that inverse controls that she fires off on her SP1. Her SP2 is just crazy. A lot of damage. And again, that diamond form, she's still at 99%. We're just going to take some hits here to see how durable she is. She's taking a beating. I'm just standing there taking some hits. And as you can see, absolutely nothing. But we're not going to waste time. We're going to bring this guy down to his 20% so we could move on to the next champion. And here we go. The last video we did with tech champions, we took 38 minutes. We're trying to cut these minutes down. And I think the best way to showcase them against gameplay is with this Winter Soldier, so that we could put 5 champs, do 20% on each one. And that's it. He's down to 21%, which is fine. The final champ that I would say is very good if you have him, Omega Red. If you have this guy, you want to rank him up as well. He is not awakened. He's just a 5-star here. But as you can see, as soon as you start the fights with him, you want to get that heavy on, because the heavy locks on his death spores. As you can see, it's climbing up to 10. And it will stay at 10, but if you hit the heavy, it keeps him at 10. If you back away or the opponent is away from you, the death spores start falling off. But once he has that heavy hit on, it keeps it there. We're going to fire off the SP2. Does a huge amount of damage. You have the death field. You want to parry and just hold your stand so that death field does its job for you. And as you can see, this guy is just melting away. Now, his SP1 and his SP3 does a lot of regeneration. So we took a hit there to see how this regeneration is going to work out for you. And he regenerates based on how much death spores is on the opponent. And he revives quite a bit. As you can see, we land the death field. We hit the parry. And we could have just held the block there for a second and just let it do its damage. But Omega Red is the final champion in the top 5 that I would say you should get your hands on. Now, I am just going to go in and rank these into the order of the top 5 that I feel is the best in the game right now. And just for gameplay and for being able to use these guys to finish content, especially if you're a brand new player and you want to finish all of these quest and events and ranking up your champs.